Welcome. Today we're going to talk about a place probably a lot of you remember, Chuck E. Cheese. But maybe not the fun side.
No, we're looking at some, unsettling stories, experiences people have shared online, specifically on YouTube, things that happened to them there.
Right. True accounts, or at least presented as true. And we just want to explore these stories, understand what these people say they went through.
Sort of see what feelings or maybe insights come up when you hear them.
Yeah. So, join us as we look at the unexpected side of a familiar place, things you don't normally think about.
It's interesting how one bad experience can just change how you see a place entirely.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's start with this first one. This comes from someone looking back. They were really young, maybe 8, 9 years old.
Okay.
They're at Chuck E. Cheese, family's there, they're just, playing skee ball or whatever, trying to rack up tickets.
The classic scene, right? The noise, the lights, kids everywhere trying to get those prizes.
Exactly. So this kid's focused, getting tickets, and feels a tap. Turns around, and it's Chuck E. himself, the mascot.
Which, for a kid that age, could be pretty exciting.
Totally. Mascot gives a high five, kid gives one back. Mascot points at the tickets, gives a thumbs up. Kid's happy, smiling. Then the mascot points at the tickets again and motions for the kid to follow him.
That's a bit different, isn't it? Usually just a quick wave or a picture.
Right. A little odd. But the kid's curious, holds onto their tickets, and starts following. They walk across the main floor. Other kids are waving at Chuck E., but the mascot just keeps going.
Focused on this one child.
Yeah, glancing back to make sure they're still following. They head towards, a back area. The mascot opens an employees-only door.
Oh, okay.
And waves the kid through. The narrator remembers thinking it was kind of weird, but also cool, like getting special backstage access.
Yeah, that forbidden zone feeling.
So they follow him into this narrow hallway and then into a small room. Lockers, a bench, like a little changing room. Mascot motions for the kid to go in first.
And the kid does.
Yeah, steps inside. The mascot comes in right after and shuts the door.
Okay.
And the narrator distinctly remembers hearing the door lock click.
Oh, no. That changes everything. Instantly. From special access to trapped.
The excitement just vanished. Confusion. Fear sets in. The mascot walks closer, puts a big furry hand on the kid's shoulder, and then starts rubbing down their arm.
Wow. Okay, that's, predatory.
And the narrator says the person then tried to reach lower with both hands.
How did the child react? That's terrifying.
Amazingly, even being so young and probably scared stiff, instinct took over. They pushed back against the suit, yelled, "Stop."
Good for them. That took courage.
It really did. The person inside then lifts the mask off, reveals this sweaty, middle-aged man. He starts taking off the rest of the suit, telling the kid, "Be quiet."
Just like that. The illusion shattered, the threat revealed.
The kid's just sitting there shaking, mind racing, thinking, how do I get out? Sees a chance when the man seems busy with the suit, tries to bolt for the door.
Makes a run for it.
Yeah. The man grabs him, stops him, and then offers all the free tickets I wanted if they would just behave.
Trying to bribe them. After that, chillin'.
The kid starts yelling, pounding on the door. The man apparently tried to cover their mouth, but then maybe realized it was too late, too much noise. The kid manages to unlock the door.
Thank goodness.
Runs out, crying, straight back through the arcade to find their mom.
The relief must have been immense, but also the terror.
Absolutely. Mom, obviously distraught, marches right to the front desk. Staff there, apparently panicked, got a supervisor. Then things happen fast. Music stops. Announcement. Parents, gather your children. Workers rush to the back. Police show up outside.
A full lockdown. As it should be.
And this poor kid has to tell the story over and over to staff, to police, with this crowd of parents and kids around. The source says the man was identified as Jest, some random person, a creep who'd snuck into the back to put on a suit.
So not even necessarily an employee, someone who exploited the back area, used this symbol of fun to lure a child. That vulnerability.
Yeah. Looking back as an adult, the narrator realizes the full horror, targeted by a predator. And they mentioned they never actually found out if the guy was caught or faced any consequences.
Which leaves this awful loose end, doesn't it? No closure.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How safe are these places we assume are fortresses for kids? That feeling of vulnerability. How does that sit with you?
It's deeply unsettling. You trust the environment, the symbols. To have that breached is horrifying.
Okay, let's shift to a very different kind of story now. This one's from an employee. A 21-year-old working maintenance, janitor duties. Short-term gig.
Ah, so the after-hours perspective.
Exactly. Part of the job was shutting down the animatronics. They often worked alone late at night after everyone else was gone.
Must be a weird vibe. Quiet, dark, empty after all that daytime chaos.
Totally. Sets a mood. So one night, they're alone, doing their rounds, pushing the cleaning cart. Arcade's silent, games are off.
That silence itself must be eerie.
Definitely. They're walking past a space-themed arcade game near the prize counter, and suddenly it just turns on by itself.
Whoa.
Music blasting, lights flashing like crazy. The narrator says their heart jumped. Had to find the keys, open the control port, shut it off again. Never seen that happen. Alone, late at night. Really freaked them out.
Yeah, I'd be freaked out too. An immediate something's wrong feeling.
And it doesn't stop there. The animatronics on stage supposedly shut down for the night.
Right.
Then, breaking the silence, Chucky's laugh. That pre-recorded laugh.
No way. After they were shut down?
Yeah, but it sounded weird. Short, cut off, kind of glitchy. Heart starts pounding again. They ditch the cart, go backstage to check it out.
You okay?
They can see the animatronics are in what they call idle mode, which apparently means they might make small, random movements sometimes. But you need to go to control room to fully kill the power.
So, not completely still, but the laugh is weird, especially after the game incident.
Right. Paranoia is setting in, and
Yeah.
someone else here. But then they noticed the Chucky animatronic specifically.
What about it?
It was facing them. The head angled down, like he was looking right at the narrator.
Oh, that's creepy. That feeling of being watched by something that shouldn't be watching.
They said it was just bizarre. Even though they weren't superstitious, it felt wrong. So they keep watching it as they walk past towards the control room door. Paused for a second near the stage entrance.
Just observing it.
Yeah. And then the Chucky animatronic spun 90 degrees to face them again. Perfectly, the narrator says, looking right at them.
Okay, no, that's not idle mode. That's directed movement.
And then the laugh again. That same glitchy, cut-off laugh. Louder this time, because they were right there.
That is profoundly disturbing. The movement, the sound. It's completely unnatural for the machine. It breaks reality a bit.
That was it. Final straw. Narrator bolts to the control room, slams the switch, kills all power to the stage, comes back out. Chucky is still facing the way it turned. As they're leaving through the stage curtains, trying to tell themselves they're just spooked,
Trying to rationalize it.
they hear it again from behind the curtains on the now dark stage. That horrible laugh again.
Oh, come on.
They just clocked out immediately. Left. Texted the boss the next day. Said they felt sick. Had to leave early.
Didn't mention the possessed animatronic, huh? Can't blame him.
No. But later, they did ask the boss, casually, do these things have motion sensors? Can they track people? Boss said, absolutely not. No way.
Wow.
So the narrator concludes, they weren't superstitious, but they were sure they weren't the only presence there that night. And it wasn't human.
That hits on a whole different fear, doesn't it? The uncanny. Things that look humanish but act wrong. Especially alone, in the dark. The line between machine and something else feels blurred.
Yeah, have you ever had that feeling, being totally alone but just knowing you're not? That's what this story nails.
It's that primal fear of the unknown mixed with the inherent creepiness of animatronics, I think.
Okay, third story, another angle entirely. This person was a teenager, about 13, at Chuck E. Cheese with their mom, younger sisters. But they're kind of doing their own thing in the arcade.
That age, right. Too old for the ball pit, too young to stay home.
Exactly. Playing games, and this worker approaches them. Red polo shirt, maybe early to mid-20s. Offers them more tokens.
Seems nice enough on the surface, an employee gesture.
Kid's excited, yeah, sure. Worker says, follow me. Leads them towards this, sketchy back door, the narrator calls it. Goes outside to a back exit area.
Hold on. Leading a kid outside. Alarm bells.
Big time. Kid asks where they're going. Worker says, to my truck.
Nope. Absolutely not. Huge red flag for any employee interacting with a minor.
And he tells the narrator, don't tell anyone. Claims he keeps piles of tokens in his truck. It's easy because he works there.
Oh, the secrecy angle too. Classic grooming tactic.
Thankfully, the narrator realizes this is wrong. Stops following when they see he's leading them out to his car. Tells them their mom would be mad. Worker tries to push a bit more, but gives up. Narrator goes back inside.
Smart kid. Listen to their gut.
But before they split up, the worker asks for their AIM username.
AM. Wow, takes you back. AOL Instant Messenger for online chat.
Yeah. Narrator 13, looking for online friends, gives it to him. Worker's name was apparently Ben. Later that night, narrator logs on, gets a message from this Ben, adds him, starts chatting. Seems friendly at first.
Building that digital rapport after the weird in-person encounter.
Narrator asks again about the tokens. Ben says, yeah, easy, because he works there. Then the conversation just tanks. Ben says he's going to come over to the narrator's house at night with tokens.
Whoa, okay. That escalated incredibly fast. From online chat to real-world threat.
Narrator's like, no, it's okay, don't come over.
Yeah.
But Ben insists, and then he drops this. You live really close to me anyway.
How would he? No.
Narrator's totally freaked out. Asks, how do you know where I live? Ben's reply, I followed your mom's van on our way home.
He stalked them. From that brief meeting at Chuck E. Cheese, he followed them home. Knew where they lived. That is terrifying knowledge for someone to have.
Narrator is, beyond scared.
Yeah.
Immediately blocks Ben on AM. Tells online friends what's happening. Some say tell your parents, call the police. But the narrator kind of hopes maybe he's just bluffing. Decides to wait.
That denial, wanting it not to be real, very understandable, but risky.
Because he wasn't bluffing. Narrator hears a truck pull up outside, windows open, looks out.
Yeah.
Sees the black truck from earlier. Sees Ben get out, and Ben sees the narrator at the window.
God, the online threat just showed up, physically, at their house.
Ben starts walking towards the window, waving. Narrator slams the window shut, locks it, yanks the blind closed. Ben was already halfway there. Narrator runs screaming for their mom.
Pure terror. The danger is literally on the doorstep.
Mom comes, is skeptical at first, like maybe it's teenage drama. But then she looks out, sees the black truck speeding away down the street. Now she believes it.
Okay, good. She saw it.
But here's the problem. The narrator, in their panic, had blocked and deleted Ben's AM account. So they couldn't show the mom the threatening messages. The proof was gone.
The digital evidence vanished. Makes it harder.
Parents called the police anyway, filed a report. But the source says basically nothing more can be done officially. Mom calls that Chuck E. Cheese the next day, asks about an employee named Ben, describes him. They deny it. No employee named Ben, no one matching the description.
Which raises that same possibility as the first story. Was he even an employee? Or just someone pretending, using the uniform or the setting?
They gave CCTV footage to the police, but the investigation apparently turned up no results. Family never went back.
That story is just wow. It shows how seamlessly danger can cross from a physical space to online and then back to a physical threat at your home. The trust issues, the fear of being watched, of someone knowing where you live after just one interaction, and the frustration of it leading nowhere officially, it's chilling.
Yeah, the lack of resolution is a recurring theme here, isn't it?
It really is, and if you look at all three stories together, they're so different on the surface, right? An assault attempt, a potential haunting or technological malfunction, a stalking case, but the common thread.
The location. Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, yes, but more than that. It's the violation, the shattering of that expected safety and fun in a place designed for it. Something feels fundamentally wrong, dangerous, lurking just under the surface.
Yeah, that contrast is stark. The bright lights, the noise, the games. And then these hidden encounters behind a door, late at night, or following you home digitally.
A predator hiding in the costume, machines acting alive, and online interaction turning into a real-world stalker. It's that clash between the cheerful facade and the potential darkness underneath.
And like you said, no neat endings. The first attacker, maybe never caught. The animatronics, unexplained. The stalker, unidentified, unaccountable. It leaves you with this lingering unease.
Exactly. And these stories, they really tap into some basic fears, don't they? Stranger danger, obviously. Being alone somewhere creepy. The uncanny feeling from things like animatronics. And very modern fears like online interactions becoming physical threats.
They definitely make you look at a nostalgic place very differently. These accounts, straight from the source, are quite unsettling. But that was the idea, just to explore them as they were shared.
And remember, these are personal accounts, individual experiences as told by them.
We really appreciate you joining us for this. Well, this look into the darker side of Chuck E. Cheese, it certainly reminds you that familiar places might have secrets or vulnerabilities we just don't see.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How well do you actually know the places you go all the time? What could be happening just out of sight, behind the curtain, or in that quick online connection?
Thanks for listening.